Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Dumb crime, stupid criminals on the way in just a bit, but first, I have got a whale of a show for you guys today. Robert Dugoni is back with us, and his latest book is here. It's out today. Boy, am I excited. In case, I can't imagine you don't know who this man is, but in case you need it for a refresher, Robert Dugoni is a critically acclaimed New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, and #1 Amazon bestselling author of the Tracy Crosswhite police series set in Seattle. He's also sold more than 10 million books worldwide, which is exactly 10 million more than I'll ever sell. I can guarantee you that right now. He's also the author of the Charles Jenkins espionage series, the David Sloan legal thriller series, the Keera Duggan, maybe Duggan too. I've got a little Irish in me. We'll clarify. And that legal thriller series in which Her Cold Justice, which we're discussing today, is of that series. And several standalone novels, including the literary novel, The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hell, one of Newsweek magazine's best books of all time, and Suspense magazine's book of the year. Robert's narration won an Audiophile Earphones Award. He's also written critically acclaimed historical novels based on true events. The World Played Chess, a coming-of-age story, and the Vietnam War, Hold Strong, an untold story of World War II, and A Killing on the Hill about a 1933 killing and trial in Seattle. His nonfiction expose, The Cyanide Canary, was a Washington Post Best Book of the Year. His novels have been optioned for movies and television series. Robert is the recipient of the Nancy Pearl Award for Fiction and multiple awards for best novels set in the Pacific Northwest. He has also been a finalist for many other awards as well. Let's welcome him back to True Crime Tuesday, Robert Dugoni. Sir, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Tim. Great to be here. Great to be back.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. I'm so glad to have you back here. I had the extreme pleasure of being able to read Her Cold Justice, and my gosh, what a good book.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
What an amazing book. I shouldn't say just good book. It's an amazing book.
I got a copy here, Tim. There you go.
There it is. I read it digitally. I saved a tree and tried to save the planet, but I read it digitally, and I had such a good time with this book. Before we launch into the book and the premise and all that, Robert, is it Duggan or Duggan? Am I getting it right?
Duggan.
Duggan.
Keera Duggan.
Okay,
yeah,
Keera Duggan. Yeah.
The Irish in you's coming out there, laddie.
That is his, boy. That is his. And I love the idea of this family. I love the idea of the family that plays kind of both sides of that law perspective. The fact that, prosecutors and defense attorneys, the fact that they've maybe seen both sides, the fact that it's a family law firm that they're human, they're fallible, they've had their ups and downs, yet they're family together, and they are together, and they challenge each other, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. I mean, it's dysfunctional. All families to one degree or another have dysfunction in them, right? I mean, I think it's just kind of the way the world is. You have multiple personalities when you have multiple kids and parents, and none of us are perfect. And as we get older, I think we begin to see, not only the terrific aspects of our parents, but also their flaws as human beings. And, Patsy Duggan, who's the patriarch of the family, has a huge flaw, an illness. He's an alcoholic, and he's been an alcoholic since he was a young man, 16 years old. In fact, I'm writing that story right now, and that'll be the next in the series.
Oh, wow.
And it'll be all about Patsy Duggan and how he became the Irish brawler. So I just found it something that's very intriguing because, as you mentioned, even though we have our flaws, we also have blood in common, right? And so we find these relationships and we overlook them, or we ignore them, or we accept them for who they are because they're family. So it's sort of a strange dichotomy in that respect.
And I got to tell people who aren't familiar with the series that this really is one of those series where if you enjoy the crime dramas on TV that are in the courtroom, that deal with court drama, this is right there in the court drama. And it's really not only giving you the machinations of what happens in the court, but also the investigative side of things. It's really got the full court drama series right there in the book, but you're getting in depth with everything from investigation to the actual machinations of what happens in a court, correct?
Yeah, when Amazon Publishing came to me and said, we'd like you to do another legal thriller series, we think it's time. I said I'd be happy to do it, but I wanted to do it my way. I wanted to do it as a Bob Dugoni book, not a John Grisham book or a Scott Turow book or some of the other really giants of that field. And what I meant by that was I wanted it to be a book that combined the legal thriller with police procedural, but also with the family dysfunction. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be, a well-rounded story so that, people that don't necessarily pick up a legal thriller first, they'll still enjoy the story because it's a story about human beings who happen to be lawyers and who happen to defend people and all the things that we talked about earlier.
And they are three-dimensional characters, every single one of them. I mean, it's not just the relationship between Patsy, who's the patriarch of the family, who's maybe starting to see his way out of the business in this one, and Keera, who's really taken the lead in the business as far as the defending clients. It really is the relationship of everyone in the family and how they take part not only in the business but in the family, right?
Yeah, no, I try. I mean, that's what that's what I really strive to do as I strive to make every character in the book real. I want you to read the book and say, oh my God, that's exactly like my sister, or oh my God, that's exactly like, my aunt, or whatever the situation is. I want readers to suspend their disbelief. I want them to pick up a book and read it and think to themselves, man, I'm reading a true story here. I'm reading something that is authentic, that's raw, that's unfiltered, that's just giving me it like it is. And I do my best. I really do. I want readers to enjoy the story. And I want them to feel when I just got asked this question, because I have a new book coming out. I got asked, what do you hope readers take from this story? Mm-hmm. And my answer is always the same. I just want them to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Every reader comes to a book with a different background, a different set of issues, problems, experiences. And so they're going to each take something a little different from the book, right? And I can't predict what someone's going to take from the book, but I hope that they like it. They can't wait to get in bed at night and read some more, or get up the next morning and pick it up and continue the story, or open it on a beach in Maui or wherever they are. And I just want them to enjoy it, enjoy the story, enjoy the book. When they close it, they say, this was a good book. This was a good one to read. And they turn to their friend or their family or whatever, and they say, hey, have you read this? You ought to read this. It's good. It's a good book.
And that it is. It's an amazing book, Bob. I'll tell you this much. The one thing I've noticed, and this is just from having really spent time with this book this past week, is this. It to me, there's a universal thread throughout this book of the truth and someone's truth, right?
Yeah.
The way someone lives their truth, what their truth is, and what the actual truth is. And it's amazing how we live our lives saying we think we know what the truth is and what our truth is and what the actual truth is, and how it all comes out in the wash. Is that a pretty fair representation of what this book may be?
I mean, very fair. Very fair. I mean, lawyers are human beings, and lawyers are competitive, and they get in the courtroom, they want to win. Nobody wants to lose, right? And they think they're right. And when I was a lawyer, I mean, I was the same way. I'd get a case in, and I thought, damn, I'm right. The other side is just wrong. But the other side is thinking the same thing. And because we're human beings, and because we're competitive, and because we want to do well in our careers, and we don't want to have a loss on our, if they're going to prosecute somebody for a double homicide, they want to convict that person. So you're right. There's the truth, and then there's the truth that the individual holds, and they're not always the same thing. The other thing is, you talked about individual's truth, and I think my personal opinion is we all have a veneer, mm-hmm. and there's only certain people in our life that we will ever let see behind that veneer, because we're vulnerable. And because we're vulnerable, we don't want people to necessarily see our weaknesses. I have a veneer about certain things, but I'm also very open about things like I have anxiety, because I have found that by being open about it, it actually helps other people that are, dealing with similar things. I'm claustrophobic. I can't go in an MRI machine. Don't even think about
I
it.
am too. I'm badly claustrophobic. I'm right there with you, brother. Yep. Yep.
But I will let some people behind that veneer, and I will let my wife behind that veneer. But other people, you're a father, and there's a certain veneer you hold with that. So we all hold those veneers, and in this book, everybody has a veneer, and they go into that courtroom, and they're not going to lower that veneer. They're going to keep it up. They're playing the part of the prosecutor. They're playing the part of the detective. They're playing the part, the forensic examiner, and they're gonna do their best to find the truth that they want to find.
And without giving anything away, I think sometimes we hold that veneer, or maybe we can say that veneer involves a lot of pride. That's part of that makeup of the veneer. Sometimes we hold that veneer too long and it becomes detrimental. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it's the really confident, and the really the person that is really feels comfortable in who they are, for them to be able to say, I'm wrong. You know what? I was wrong about this case, or I was wrong about this. Those people are rare, but those are the people I also think who are the ones that are the charismatic ones, the ones that we admire, because they're willing to admit that they've made a mistake. They're not. You're not going to find them very often.
Right.
They have to be. I ran into a gentleman back early in my career, and the reason why he could be like that, to say, no, this is not right, is because he was so good at what he did. He didn't lack for confidence because he was just so good at what he did. So, but most of us, I think, are we get wed to an idea, and we're gonna push that thing through.
Let's talk a little bit about Keera and her father, Patsy, and where their relationship is in this particular book. I find it interesting because they come upon a case that is really close to home.
Yeah.
And it's a case that Keera feels she needs not only to take, but really needs to find a way to take it in a time where the firm maybe is not on its most stable legs financially. So she needs to find a way to take it and do it, not gravitas, but needs to find a way to do it in a way that they can make it work. And there's that understanding there by Patsy, but at the same time, it's going to be an incredibly challenging case. But Patsy has just gotten clean. And tell us a little bit about this new formation of this relationship between Patsy and Keera, and how this dynamic works now.
So I think anybody that has ever experienced an addiction, either personally or by association with somebody they're close to, realizes that they're never truly through that addiction. The person is always an addict. And the question is whether or not, that addiction is in remission, whether they're able to control it. So Patsy has gone through a rehab. Is he really, is he cured? No, he'll always be an alcoholic. The question is whether or not he'll succumb to the temptation of drinking. And so I always want that to sort of linger out there, because I think that's reality. And I don't want it to ever feel, people to ever feel like, oh, he's cured. He's not cured. He's currently in remission. Keera feels great about it, but she's guarded because she's been down this path before. Her father's a binge drinker. He used to give up drinking every Lent for 40 days. He didn't drink, right? And then, bam, he, comes home hollering and screaming, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just the reality of the situation. So, Keera finds that she's very good at what she does. She's got a lot of her father's personalities. She's intuitive. She's smart. She plots well. She's a chess player, so she understands moves and counter moves and all those things that come along with it. So she is a little bit of her father. She loves her father, and that's the thing that's hardest about someone that has an illness like alcoholism or drug addiction is you love that human being and you hate to see them destroy themselves. And you're never going to tell a daughter, that she's going to stop loving her father. She may not be happy with her father. She may not like the things her father's doing, but I think it's rare where somebody just stops loving that person, that individual. So I would say that Keera is optimistic but guarded. If Patsy has a remission in, book 5, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised. What form is it going to take? Who knows? But for me as a writer, I will say honestly, Patsy is a much more interesting character because he's flawed, and he's a much more interesting character because that risk of him showing up someplace drunk and having all those children of his go, oh my God, Dad, why? And the pain, it's for a writer, that's gold. That's the stuff I think that elevates a book, takes it out of just the procedural aspect of it and makes it more human.
You've also put an interesting plot device in there, in that, I think for an alcoholic, it's interesting that idle hands are the devil's work, right? So you don't put him on an island, or the kids don't put him on an island. They've made him this ombudsman where he can stay around the firm and be there as that senior advisor, that Yoda, so to speak, to give them that advice to keep the firm going the way it needs to be. He's that figurehead that's there if they need to bring in business, right?
Yeah.
But there's the temptation because he's got the office.
Yeah.
And there's the feel of being in charge. And there's the feel of when we've won a big case, we need to celebrate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The temptation's always there, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. I worked at a law firm for about 15 years, and the person who ran that firm, that was his life. That really was his life. He's never retired. He's in his 80s, and he still goes in every day, and he still works just as hard as everybody else. Some people are just built that way. I have another friend I just saw this weekend, and I, said to him, well, when are you going to retire? He said, I retired in August. Some people are built differently, but those people who have done it their entire lives, my Uncle Art was a very, very well-known, respected, worldwide orthodontist. He worked, 95 years old. He still had his hands in the orthodonture field. My mom was an accountant, and she was working at 89 years of age. She'd go into the office. My father had passed away, and this was a great opportunity for her to get out and get contact and be around people and those kind of things. So, those people exist. Mm-hmm. Work is their life, and life is their work. Hopefully they love it, and that's why they do it. I always tell people I don't ever see myself stopping writing books. There may come a point in time where I just can't write them anymore.
Right.
Who knows? Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. I think whether it's true or not, I heard Elmore Leonard died at the typewriter. Well,
yep.
God love him if that's true. That would be the way I'd want to go, but not at the sacrifice of other things. And I think that's what's going to come about here if the Keera Duggan series continues. I think that's what's going to come about is, that idle hands, as you mentioned, what's Patsy really going to do? And does he feel worthy anymore? Does he feel sort of pushed out? And how does he respond to that? Does he start drinking again? Does he say, I want to take a case? And, there's a lot of things I can do that I think are reality. I just haven't really thought about it too much. I'm really excited about writing the young Patsy Duggan and how he becomes the Irish brawler, and that's been a lot of fun. So, but this book, Her Cold Justice, I think you see all the qualities that make Keera such an likable character for my readers. Is she's strong, she's tough, and in this book more than any other, she says not only to her father but also to Frank Rossi, stop babying me. I'm not a child. I'm a woman. I can make my own decisions, and I will make my own decisions. You may like them, you may not like them, but they're my decisions, and I'm going to make those decisions. Damn everybody else. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And, I find it interesting from the word go, Keera's come off this vacation. And when she's come off this vacation, which has been kind of, she wasn't necessarily exiled on this vacation, but she was sent on this vacation to kind of get her stuff together. She comes back and she hits the ground running. And the minute she hits the ground running, you're right. She tells everybody, I'm my own woman. I'm my own lawyer. It's time for me to start, showing and proving. And we hit the ground running from there.
Yeah, and that's a scary moment. I'll be honest with you. When suddenly you're no longer working under a mentor, you are the mentor. You are the person in charge. The buck stops with you, whatever you want to say. When you're a lawyer, that's a really difficult moment. When you realize that, and especially, I never did criminal law, but it's got to be incredibly stressful when you realize the only thing standing between you and the guy sitting next to you going to jail is you.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a unique personality, a unique individual, because the person is not always honest. And I have a good friend who's also a terrific writer, Phil Margolin, who was a defense lawyer and had something like 30 or 40 capital murder cases. And I said to Phil, how do you deal with that? He said, my job is not to get the person off. My job is to make sure that person's constitutional rights are protected. And if they're going to convict him or her, they need to do it the right way, because that impacts all of us. If they break the rules for that one person, then Katie bar the door.
Right.
If we find ourselves, someday in a courtroom being tried and we don't have the constitutional rights, well, that's nobody's fault but our own if we don't stand up for them.
Wow. Yeah. You're absolutely right. I suppose you have to, when you get into a certain category of law, there's only so much you can do, but you realize you have to be really good at that certain category, right? You have to excel and go above and beyond.
Yeah. No, some people are guilty. They're guilty. Yeah. And, I know in King County, I knew a couple of prosecutors, and I feel, about 95% certain of this, is that they do not plea bargain first-degree murder trials. There's no plea bargain, is what I understand. Mm-hmm. Now, if somebody said, I plead guilty, then that's fine. They go to prison for the rest of their lives. But if they go to them and say, hey, in exchange, no. And some people are guilty. The evidence is there. They caught them. The witnesses saw them. And I think that's what Phil was saying is, that's not my job to get them off. They're not innocent. They're guilty, but they got to do it by protecting the rights, those individuals' rights, because when those individuals, rights are trampled on, everybody's rights are trampled on. You can't distinguish between the two, and we've seen that in history. Mm-hmm. Throughout history, we've seen that. When individual rights start to get trampled and the majority stays silent, then the majority is the one that pays for it, because suddenly those rights getting trampled begin to get a little bit more widespread, et cetera. So that's Keera's job. And the evidence against Michael Westbrook, the defendant in this case for a double homicide, the evidence is strong. It's really strong. And, but for her relationship with J.P. Harrison, her private investigator, who's Michael's uncle, Keera doesn't know. She doesn't know whether Michael's innocent or not innocent. He claims he's innocent. But man, when you're looking at all that evidence sitting there, there's got to be that trickle of doubt in the back of her mind saying, who am I getting off here?
Right. I tell you what, Bob, let's take a break. You've given me an interesting way to lead into our second segment here, and that is the trampling of rights. And I want to introduce, when we come back, our so-called villain here, which is our prosecutor in this whole thing. Because our villain here is one that you find easy to root against, yet at the same time has a very hard upbringing or a very hard origin story. So we'll talk about Kim Tran, I believe, or Kim Tran. Tran. Kim Tran, when we come back, and we'll talk about her origin story. We'll talk about what it is that makes her tick and why she's so hard and fast with the way she plays with those rights. And we'll talk about that when we come back. Name of the book is Her Cold Justice. Robert Dugoni is our author of this book, this wonderful book. And we have a link in the description of this program. It's available today, folks, so go get it. And by all means, it's an amazing, amazing book. And I was riveted from the time I picked it up to the time I put it down. This book is amazing. All right, when we come back, we'll talk about Kim Tran. We will talk about J.P. Harrison as well. We haven't even gotten into him yet, or Michael Westbrook, our suspect here in this case. When we come back, we'll talk all about that double homicide. We'll talk all about Kim Tran and her origin story, and much, much more with Robert Dugoni next here on the Best in True Crime Podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the Best in True Crime Podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Robert Dugoni. The name of the book is Her Cold Justice. It is available today, folks. Today, I want you to go out and get it. There's a link in the description of this program. Wonderful, wonderful book. It is set in South Seattle. And before the break, Bob, we were talking about the trampling of rights in the court system. And our villain in this case, Kim Tran, is our prosecutor, who plays a little loose and fast with the rights in this particular book. As a matter of fact, she's quick to go get a warrant, and they have a little bit of a nickname for her. You want to tell people what this nickname is?
Well, the nickname comes from her upbringing, which is they call her basically Batwoman. Because in the Batman series, Batman obviously comes from a horrific background in which his parents are brutally murdered. And he seemingly overcomes that situation to go on and become this wealthy Bruce Wayne. Kim Tran, in the book opens, and she witnesses a horrible, horrible murder of her parents. And so the question always becomes, what does that do to an individual? How does that impact an individual going forward? I mean, I can't even imagine how horrible that situation must be. I sat in on a trial one time of a horrible individual who walked across the street and brutally murdered two sisters and their two 10-year-old boys. The husband was serving in Afghanistan. And I ran into him, and I ran into the husband in a courtroom elevator. And I just looked at him and I just said, "Sir, I don't know what to say to you, but you must have tremendous faith or tremendous strength. I just don't even know how you can possibly get through all this." And he just said, "By the grace of God."
Wow.
Because what else are you going to do? It was just horrific. So, the question becomes, how does she cope? And how does she get to the place where she's at? She seems to be just, basically a ball buster. She's really good at what she does, and she's incredibly successful.
But in that, even if it's just the slightest bit thin on going and getting that warrant to get in there and get the cops to do their job, not only will she get that warrant, she may go in there with them, guns blazing.
Yeah, and there are prosecutors like that. There are prosecutors that get involved right away and are heavily involved in the situation. But again, when you're looking at the evidence, the initial evidence that's coming in and what you're finding, it's real easy, I think, to fall into that situation where the person is guilty and needs to be proven innocent, not vice versa. And that's what I meant earlier, Tim, when you and I were talking about, lawyers are human beings and they're competitive. And, you get a situation like that, your job is to find justice for the family. Your job is to find justice for the community. And your job is to make sure that a brutal murderer is not allowed to walk free. I think one of the reasons that everybody was so upset about the O.J. Simpson case wasn't necessarily the race card. It wasn't necessarily that he was a black man or a white man or whatever. That certainly played a part in it. I mean, absolutely, positively played a part in it. I think the pain that most people identified with was he got away with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're just not supposed to get away with those kinds of things in this life.
Right.
Right. That's not what our justice system is supposed to be about. So, prosecutors have an incredibly difficult job. I have a friend that was one of the did the big cases here in Seattle, and he's a really good man, just a really good man. But he had a job to do, and that job was to convict these people that came into the courtroom and that they felt there was enough evidence that of the person's guilt.
So J.P. Harrison is our private investigator in this book, and he's the one who brings this case to Keera and says of his nephew, Michael Westbrook. Tell us a little bit about this case and what exactly it entailed.
So, Michael is a young man who's trying to find his way, but he's a young man of color, and he's big. He's a big kid like his uncle. He's tall and he's stocky. And so you can imagine, in this country, the deck is stacked against the guy. I mean, people of color are not treated the same as white people that are crime. I mean, we've just seen it too many times over and over again. There's a stereotype that they're dealing with, and so Michael is a black man, large black man, and he's trying to find his way. He gets injured playing football in high school, and that sort of derails his college career, what he's thinking about. And so he's just trying to find his way. And he takes a job working the night shift at a freight company, air freight company, which I did one time.
Yeah.
And he's working with these guys, and he doesn't realize that one of the guys he's working with is basically smuggling drugs in through various packages from the East. And then once they get in, he's able to sort of begin to distribute them out. He's working for somebody else. And so the police one day come to Michael's house and, come in and knock the door down. And Michael's got a package in there that he's been given by this guy, and he tells him just to hang on to it for him. It's a surprise gift for his girlfriend. He doesn't want her to find it. That's not what it is. It's drugs. And Michael doesn't even know why he's being arrested. But comes to find out the two people, the man and his girlfriend, have been brutally murdered. And the question becomes, who's guilty? Who committed this horrific crime? And Michael's one of those guys that the drugs are in his house. He was associated with both of them. He spends time at their home. Things do not look good for him.
And it's unfortunate too, because in order to make a little extra money, he's done some yard work for them at times and done some odds and ends around the house. He's hung out with them, and also that fateful night, his car broke down, and there's one car between he and his mother. And so he had taken an Uber to work, and he needed a ride home, and so one of the two that was slain, the John is the man's name, John had decided, hey, you know what, I'll give you a ride home. And in that, he had asked him to hold on to these packages for him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of evidence against him. His fingerprints are all over the house, and it does not look good. So, that's one of the things that one of the cases where I just, it's just, as a writer, it's fun to play with those facts. In reality, it would be incredibly scary.
Yeah. Yeah. And here you have this kid who is screaming, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. You can't, you got to get me off here. But yet he also has no resources.
Right.
He's got no way to hire an attorney. So JP comes to Keera and says, I need a favor. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and again, it just puts tremendous pressure above and beyond on her, that she's really, she's got to do the right thing. It takes a really unique person to be able to try a case and lose and say, you know what, I did my best. I did my best. I did it. I saw it in the civil world where the stakes were money. The really good lawyers would. You'd find out they lost and they got hit. Their client got hit with a huge amount of money. And the really good attorneys would look at me and they'd say, tried a good case. I tried a really good case. Jury didn't buy it. And what are you going to do? And that's our system of justice. You're going to have 12 people in the jury box. Each of them comes from a different background, a different set of circumstances, a different set of fates, life experiences, all those things. the lawyer can do his or her very best to try to find the people and weed out the people you don't want, but there's always going to be some. It's an incredibly difficult job. I'm not sure most people really understand how difficult a trial attorney's job is. And when you're in the throes of a trial, it is 24/7. And sometimes it's weeks on end. People will give doctors sort of a break because they will realize the doctor's doing those incredible surgeries and everything. What a difficult job it is. But man, practicing law it's a tough job. And it takes a certain type of individual to be a really good trial attorney.
Yeah. There are other twists and turns, of course, we can't talk about in the book. There are interpersonal relationships that are not disclosed to Keera and to JP in this as they go through the trial. There are twists and turns that Anh Tran, our prosecutor, throws in front of Keera and doesn't disclose before trial. That throw the trial maybe not Keera's way, that she doesn't see coming, that Patsy says, you know what, be aware of, it's coming. There's all kinds of intriguing and enthralling things in this book, Bob, that you set up, these little traps all over the place. That's
my job, right? And it's funny, I was just at a wedding this last weekend, and one of my best friends from high school is one of the biggest prosecutors in San Mateo County, and so I got to see Kenny, and we were talking about that. And the criminal world and the civil world is different. There are different rules and that happens all the time in criminal cases. Like a witness comes up, they find him, they get him in. It's like the other side says, "Wait a minute, who is this person? We never had a chance to." You don't get the right to depose people in a criminal case. You can move the court to get it, but there's a lot of times they get up on the witness stand and you're not sure what they're going to say in a criminal case. It's not scripted in any fashion, and that's part of the scary part of the criminal justice system is who's out there. Who knows what it is. It's scary. It's very scary. I knock on wood, Dennis. I hope I'm never on that side of the law, because that is just terrifying.
It is. It's like I said, it's a roller coaster of a book. It is an interesting, intriguing book, and it keeps you hanging on till the very end to see how this thing plays out.
Interestingly enough, another guy at this wedding is another high school friend of mine. He's now a judge. He's a Superior Court judge, and we were talking, and he was kind of saying the same thing about he had a case where a young man got convicted and spent some time in prison, and not a long time, but he said, and he came back before him, and it was like he was looking at a completely different person because of the impact that the change on the individual, because of the impact of spending time in prison, what it does to a person. It's just, the whole thing is just frightening. It's really frightening. And that's what I was hoping to sort of get across is, it's a frightening situation.
Yeah. That it is. Her Cold Justice is available today. Robert Dugoni is the author of this wonderful book. And again, we have a link of it in the description of this program. Again, folks, I encourage you to go get this book. It was, I tell you, I was glued to it. And we had championship games this weekend, Bob, that I was like, nah, I taped them. I didn't care.
I have to be honest. I didn't watch them either.
Yeah.
I was on an airplane coming home from a wedding, and so I didn't see the first one and the second one. You get back after being away, and there's a ton of things you got to do, and it wasn't my team, and so I was like, I'm gonna be productive.
Seahawks aren't your team?
They're not. No, I grew up in the Bay Area.
Okay. So all right.
I bleed red and gold. I always have.
Okay.
I love the Mariners. I'm a huge Mariners fan. I have a season ticket plan to the Mariner games. I'm still a Giants fan, but I don't have the same. They're just all the players I grew up with that won the 3 World Series. They're all gone. So anyway, I bleed red and gold. I'll always bleed red and gold. Just like I see you're wearing a Vikings shirt. There's certain teams that they're just your team. So Seahawks beat them up pretty badly, and they're off. And best of luck to them and my friends who are Seahawk fans.
Yeah, they got our quarterback.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
They got the 49er quarterback too.
Yeah.
Mike Shanahan resurrected his career.
He did. Yeah.
And you know what? He seems, everything I've ever read about the guy is he's a really good guy. So I especially wish him the best of luck because he's been through the fires.
He has.
Yeah.
So, best of luck to Sam Darnold. Best of luck to the Seahawks, and best of luck to you, Bob, on this book.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate being on very much. It's a lot of fun to write. I hope readers really come to fall in love with it.
I believe they will. It's an excellent book. Again, Her Cold Justice. Robert Dugoni is the author of this wonderful book. We have it in the description of this program. Go get it. It's available today. Bob, thank you so much for being with us today.
Dennis, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Folks, it's time now for us to lighten things up a bit. It's time now for us to bring in Jessica Freeberg. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again, the time you've all been looking forward to. It's time for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, sounds like I was yelling that from a mountaintop. There's a little bit of an echo there. With that, I shall reach across the Twin Cities. I shall seek out my co-hostess. Yes, I said co-hostess. She is back, ladies and gentlemen. I shall seek out a co-hostess that is not only witty, funny. I combined the two words there. Witty, funny, brilliant, but she also has not one, not two, not three. I think 4 books out now, I think is what we're up to. Is it 4 books? Yes. Working on 3 for this year and working on, conquering the Hindustan Times charts. Bender called me this week. He said, sir, tears in his eyes. I'll quote our president. Tears in his eyes says to me, sir, is the onslaught coming? I said, Bender, you know it is. You know the onslaught's coming. Eater of world, slayer of charts. She's ready. She's got the fighter's robe on, the boxing gloves on. She's ready to destroy those charts at any given moment. She's ready to lay the smack down upon thy charts. What are you going to do, Bender? What you going to do, brother, when the Eater of world, slayer of charts runs wild on you? And Bender said, sir. Again, tears in his eyes. He said, sir, I have a family. And I said, well, you better get used to not seeing him for a while because she shows no mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Jessica Freeberg. Jess, how you doing?
Oh, good. I sound like a raging maniac.
No. You just, trying to make a living, trying to feed the family,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do almost anything for that.
There you go. Yeah, I gotta, you gotta add a little ruthlessness to the end of that, right?
Yes. I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm crazy about the books.
That's right. Let's go.
I'm writing one right now about witches, and it's so fascinating. It's super fun.
I bet. That is kind of
sad.
Kind of a fun topic, isn't it?
It's fun, but it's also like, oh my gosh, people were so terrible.
Yeah. Well, they can be. Yes, they can.
Yeah. Humanity just keeps repeating itself.
It really does. Yeah.
And then we're always surprised by it, and then I don't know why. It's like, we all can't help ourselves. We're human.
We can't wonder why aliens won't land and make nice with us.
They're like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Keep on flying.
You monkey, stay where you are. Yeah, there's probably a reason why. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why they just beam us up instead of coming down.
And anal probe us. It's a way to settle us down. I don't know if people know that or not. Yeah.
That riles me up. I'm sorry that you're gonna stick anything in my anal cavity. I'm gonna get a little irate.
Well, it's their way of just saying.
It's like a massage.
It's like, you got it coming.
You earned this, you crazy human.
That's right. So yeah, with that being said, we have lots of stuff going on, Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals today. Before we jump into it, just a reminder, folks, go to darknessradioshow.com to the store. And for the first time ever, you can get True Crime Tuesday merchandise. It's all there for you.
Yay!
You got hoodies, you got mugs, you got a desk mat, you got all kinds of fun stuff.
I have one of the hoodies, and it is nice.
Yeah, so there you go. Go ahead and take advantage. Enjoy yourself. That's all I have to say. Enjoy yourself.
Get a little shopping therapy in.
That's right. It's a good time of year to do it. All right, let's start with our first story. Now we jump into serious mode.
Yes, let's go.
As serious as this thing gets. First story is a little serious, but a man was shot and killed after reportedly intervening when a person cut the bathroom line at a gas station, Jess.
What?
Okay, again, it's kind of in that vein we were just talking about. Some humans are a little too serious.
Literally lost our frickin' minds.
We have a woman by the name of Delka Castor said, in memory of her late brother, Danny Lynn Castor, my brother was more than this tragedy. There's actually a little, you can't see the picture because it's the start of a video, but the man is holding a dog.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
That's sad.
Come on. Danny Lancaster made a stop at a Quick Trip gas station in Phoenix on January 16th, where he waited in line to use the bathroom. DeAndre Franklin allegedly tried to cut the line, and when Castor tried to intervene, Franklin allegedly shot Castor in the head.
Wow, that is so freaking aggressive.
I mean, nobody has to go to the bathroom that bad.
Wow, I just don't even have words for this story.
Right.
So messed up.
A man was shot and killed while waiting at a gas station line in Phoenix on January 16th. 52-year-old Danny Lynn Castor was found shot in the area of 4400 East Oak Street when officers responded at around 7:45 a.m. local time. The Phoenix Police Department said in a statement he was waiting for the bathroom at the gas station when DeAndre Franklin, who's all of 25 years old, allegedly tried to cut the line. That's according to Danny's sister, Delka Castor. She told that to Fox 13. Danny attempted to intervene, but Franklin allegedly shot him at least once. According to Phoenix police, the Phoenix Fire Department responded to the scene, transported Danny to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. Homicide detectives arrived at the scene to investigate. On January 17th, Franklin was arrested in connection with the murder, according to police. He was booked on one count of murder in the second degree, according to court records. We're all honestly still in shock, Delka told Fox 13. He left for work on Friday, and now he's never coming home. It was a complete senseless act of violence, she said. My brother was doing nothing wrong. He was not aggressive, not threatening, and not looking for trouble. He was just a man starting out his workday. My brother was more than this tragedy, Delka continued. He was a son, a brother, a loved one who mattered deeply to his family and friends. He had a life, relationships, his dog Max, his prized possession truck, and a future that was stolen in an instant. Delka and Danny were thicker than thieves since childhood, she told Fox 13, adding, Danny was literally the person that would give you the shirt off his back. Another relative named Aiden shared how funny Danny was, and that he always had a huge heart for animals. I'm really sorry he had to go through this, and he was probably scared. I really, really just loved him, Shelby, another family member, told Fox 13. Yeah. Again, kind of the ugly side of humanity.
Yeah, how bad did that guy have to go to the bathroom?
Right?
Like, what is wrong with him?
Nobody has to go to the bathroom that bad. And if so,
also, you're a dude. You can pee outside. You can just go behind a tree.
Right. Anybody who really has to pee, we can find a way to get you around the side of the building to pee, right? I mean, it's the sitting kind that you have to,
No, maybe he had some bad burritos. I don't know, but
yeah, there's
hard to defend.
And even if you have two guys that need to have a sit down, maybe there's not a line for the women's stall. I mean,
I would personally, if I was having a desperate moment and diarrhea was impending and there was a line, if I had the choice of shooting someone in the head and getting to the front of the line or just pooping my pants, I would just poop my pants. So
yeah. It's not that there's nothing ever that serious. Right?
No.
Yeah. There's another interesting, bizarre story out of Seattle. Although I do have a joke for this. It's a morbid one. A Seattle pot shop employee was run over by a shoplifter who's now in the ICU.
Okay, who's in the ICU? The guy who ran him over or the guy who got run over?
The Seattle pot shop employee who was run over is now in the ICU.
Oh, okay.
He was run over by a shoplifter in the store.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We go to Seattle, which, by the way, congratulations, Seahawks. Got to throw that in there.
Yay!
Yeah. And Sam Darnold, our old quarterback, as mentioned in the first segment. Robert Dugoni is an old San Francisco 49ers fan who is in Seattle now. An employee with Kemp's Cannabis, and no, they're not the same people who make the milk. Sorry. They haven't switched up.
Cannabis ice cream.
Yeah, the dairy industry hasn't gone tits up. Get it? Teats up.
Their slogan was always the secret to Kemp's is the cow, but really, it's the weed.
It's the weed. An employee with Kemp's Cannabis is now in the ICU after getting run over by a shoplifter on Friday. Security video shows a woman in the shop talking with the employee. As the employee steps away, the woman looks around, then suddenly grabs a bag off the counter. KIRO7 was told it had less than $50 worth of marijuana. So the shoplifter got less than $50 worth of weed.
And almost killed someone in the process.
Yeah. The employee, realizing what happened, chases after the woman as she runs across the street to her Jeep. As soon as the bud tender saw her leave, yes, they're called bud tenders, he went after her and tried to take a picture of her, and he got a picture of her in her car as she decided to run him over.
On purpose.
Yes.
Right.
That, according to General Manager Tran Du. You saw the video. It looked like he was dead when she ran him over. Just boom.
Oh my gosh, how scary.
Plowed him over. Du says his employee, who's a father of two, was rushed to Harborview with head injuries and a broken ankle. Du says the shop has dealt with crime on multiple occasions, but this is different. This is involving somebody getting hurt. That's the big issue. It's like, come take the weed, whatever, but now there's somebody that got injured from this, according to Du. Du believes with all the video and photo evidence, an arrest will quickly follow, but he says he's frustrated not getting information from police. Here's where the joke comes in. Are you ready for this, Jess? All right. This is where joke writing is at its most ironic. Du says this, and this is a quote from him. We're basically handing the case on a silver platter. Just go find this lady. Let us know what's going on. Now, if you hand the case on a silver platter to police, do they chop it up, roll it, and smoke it? That's my question.
I think they have to.
See, it's a little cannabis joke for you. See. Seattle Police Department says they're investigating. The shop is now offering a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. I say they offer it in weed. You'll get it. Much quicker result. Yeah.
Her companions will definitely take the weed.
Yeah.
If it was offered.
I'm sure you'll find somebody in her own party will turn her in if you order that up in product instead of cash. I'm sure somebody will turn on her relatively quickly.
Maybe even quicker if they offer it in brownies, like pre-made brownies or
gummies.
Oh, gummies.
Mm-hmm.
Adult candy.
Stroop waffles. Have you ever had a cannabis stroop waffle?
I've never had a gummy or any of it.
Really?
No.
You know what, Jess?
I'm coming over.
I'm telling you. I'll have to hook you up. We used to have Lumi Labs on the program. Actually, they sent me a little package over the weekend. Lumi Labs did.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, they did. So I might have to send a few.
No, I've only had the drinks. Well, that you can get at the liquor store.
Yep. Yeah, those are and those are synthetic THC. Mm-hmm. That not the
not as good.
Yeah, not from Mother Earth. They have a different feel to them.
Okay.
Yeah. But the actual that's a Delta 9 THC, so it's synthetic THC in the drinks. The stuff, at least in Minnesota, is. But the natural gummies actually are natural THC, and they're how should I put this? They're kind of engineered to give you a different feel. So like if you don't want the drowsiness, but you want pain relief, they're done for that. Or if you're looking to go to sleep, you want something that'll help with, insomnia. You have that too. Or if you need a mixture, you need something that will help with both. You have that. So
I've had bad experiences when I've drank the drinks. And I can tell you guys, because you won't think it's weird.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever.
Yeah.
But when I go to bed at night, I usually do this little bubble up meditation because I don't really want to see someone standing beside my bed in the middle of the night or anything like that, because that has happened to me quite a bit over the years. When I've had the drinks, I've had the creepiest things come into my personal space where I'm like, oh my God, is that like a demon? Like, what is in my room? Well, so then I'm like, I just don't need it.
I've heard stuff about the Delta 9 THC.
Yeah. Do you think that's what it is?
It reacts differently with people. So I don't know that's probably the best thing for you.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't. There's something that doesn't make demons come in my room. I'll try it.
Yes, I don't think this will make demons.
I want the demon-free THC.
Yeah. The more from Mother Earth, the better. I don't mean to sound hippie-ish.
They should put a disclaimer on the can. Like, if you're psychically sensitive, don't drink this.
Well, I think there is. I think on all cans of the drink, I think it does say it's Delta 9 THC, but most people don't know what that is. So
yeah. Okay. Well, now if it says that, I'm not drinking it because I'm just like not really fun.
Yeah. And it's the easiest THC to put in product because again, it's synthetic.
Yeah.
It's not natural. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do get really relaxed, but then all of a sudden, Lucifer is like,
he's like
coming at you, and you're like,
yeah, it's kind of a weird. It makes for an odd night, right?
Not fun. Yeah, not relaxing.
Not fun at all. No. Speaking of not fun, I'll preface this with this: you might have seen some of the trailers that have come out. They're little snippets and teaser trailers for the new Avengers Doomsday movie that's supposed to be out end of this year, I believe. See the end of this year, but yeah, I think it's end of this year, December, I believe. One of them teases that the X-Men are back for the first time in the Marvel Universe. And all it is you see Charles Xavier and Magneto playing chess, and then you see Cyclops hitting his knees and just shooting his eye beams into the sky.
Ooh.
Suggesting that maybe they're coming over from the Fox universe into the Marvel universe, right? Well, evidently one man couldn't wait too much longer for this to happen. In fact, he needed to make it a reality. And speaking of being on a substance and needing something to make something reality quicker, this man in North Bay, well, he picked up his old meth pipe and decided he wanted to become Wolverine.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
We're going to North Bay, where a man was found wearing an illegal pair of large Wolverine-style metal knuckles. And they're quite elaborate. I'll show you a picture here in a moment.
Oh, my goodness.
By a Sebastopol police officer on Thursday. This, according to the city's police department. Sebastopol police said the officer made an alarming discovery while on foot patrol in the wooded area along the Joe Rodata Trail. Now, Jess, I'm going to show you a picture of what this guy was wearing because it is the most alarming thing I think you could run into with a guy with a meth pipe.
Oh, my gosh.
Look at that. He built that.
He built that? That's wild.
That isn't something you buy over at the old Wally Mart.
I mean, if you get punched with that, you're done. Like,
yeah,
it's going to take half your face off.
Here's another close up of what this thing is. Look at the skull on that.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I mean, they look very similar to what the Wolverine wore.
Well, his claws pop out supposedly of his forearms, but these are attached to like an exoskeleton on the back of his forearm. And then, so imagine taking off a glove and then you've got an exoskeletal like hand.
That's so weird.
And
I just imagine a meth head, real scrawny with scabs,
yeah,
coming at you with that. Oh,
yeah, like I got to build it. If I build it, I can kill.
Yeah, you just see him scratching at his skin while he's making it.
Yeah, ooh. Cooking and scratching.
Ooh. Probably using it to scratch his itches when he thinks he's covered in bugs.
Yeah, picking his scabs and all kinds of fun stuff. During a subsequent search of the man, the officer found a meth pipe in his pocket, said police in a social media post. The man was also camping illegally and storing garbage a short distance from the state waterway. So, hygiene, not the biggest thing in this world.
Hygiene, not a priority.
Not a priority, you're right. The man, who was not identified by police, was booked into the county jail for charges tied to the weapon, drug paraphernalia, and illegal camping, confirmed police. Sebastopol police said officers regularly conduct proactive patrols of the Joe Rodata Trail and nearby areas, adding that our goal is to keep our parks, trails, and waterways safe, clean, and welcoming for everyone. Just not a guy pretending he's Wolverine on meth. That's probably not a good thing. It's not clear why the man is wearing the metal knuckles. I'll tell you this much. It's not because he's the welcome wagon for the park department. That's probably one of the reasons he's not wearing it. I'll just give you that. I have an airplane horror story for you. I don't think anybody got arrested for this, but somebody should be.
Okay.
This time, although usually they're pretty good, and I'm just saying this from my own point of view and state of mind, our story's about Delta this week, Jess. Delta flight had to return to the gate after de-icing because the fluids leaked inside the aircraft and soaked a passenger. I can't imagine there's anything in de-icing fluids that is healthy for you.
No.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to drink it.
No.
Or bathe in it.
Yeah, or, roll around in it, the minute perfume, anything like that.
Use it as a face mask or a moisturizer.
Yeah. A Delta spokesperson told People magazine the chemicals are non-hazardous to passengers. I'm sure to avoid a lawsuit, I'm sure you would say that, right?
It will eat the ice off an airplane, but it's fine for you.
Yeah, it's not that corrosive. I'm sure, it's nothing that a scrub or a body wash wouldn't, take right off of you.
Nice.
A Delta Airlines plane had to return to the gate on Sunday after de-icing fluids leaked through the exterior of the aircraft and soaked a passenger. But it's just fine for your skin. Right?
Just ate through the metal of the plane.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Went right through the seals of the plane, but you'll be okay. So
a little exfoliant.
Yeah. Just
good for you.
Consider it a light scrub. The incident occurred on Delta Flight 1307, which was preparing to depart LaGuardia Airport in New York on Sunday, January 18th. According to Flight Aware, the Airbus A220-100 was scheduled to take off for Jacksonville, Florida around 2:20 p.m. local time. However, flight data indicated the aircraft did not depart for another 3 hours. In an air traffic control recording obtained by liveatc.net, the Delta pilot requests a return to the gate after visiting the facility's de-icing pad. Still coordinating for a gate at this time, but we need to go back to a gate, the pilot tells ATC. What was the reason, the controller asks. We had a bunch of de-icing fluid leak inside the aircraft and soak a passenger, the pilot explains. Whoopsie.
No big deal, though. It's fine.
No, they're great. They shook it off. We're giving them a complimentary martini.
Their clothes have eroded off of their body, but other than that, they're just fine.
Yeah, we gave them a flight suit, so they're good now.
Skin's bubbling a little bit, but it's no big deal.
Yeah, no biggie. According to Delta's website, de-icing plays an important part in aviation during the winter months as aircraft wings are carefully designed to provide lift. Snow and ice can alter the shape, and air might flow or might not flow over them properly. To combat this, facilities will work to remove snow and ice from the aircraft by spraying a combination of warm water and propylene glycol. So try throwing that in your martini, see how it tastes. However, on Sunday, the liquid made its way through to the cabin. Do you need any medical services or anything, or do they just need to be dried off? The controller asks. Yeah, I think maybe a new pair of pants, the pilot says. We're not used to that coming into the fuselage like that, so we want to have maintenance take a look at it, make sure that we don't have a leak. Frequent and repeated exposure to propylene glycol can sometimes irritate the skin, per the CDC. So it is an irritant. I don't know that you just want to take right off and go to your destination after that. You might want
I would feel like it does say on here, I'm Googling it, it says it has a faintly sweet taste.
Oh, good. Well, you know.
So if you want to put it in your martini.
Yeah, throw that in your Coke. See what happens. Delta spokesperson told People that the passenger was seated near the wings of the aircraft and only a small amount of fluid landed on his clothes. They added that de-icing fluid leaks are very rare and the chemicals are non-hazardous to passengers. The spokesperson confirmed the customer continued traveling with the airline and maintenance swapped the aircraft out of an abundance of caution. So they were being extra careful.
It does say that it is approved for food manufacturing and cosmetics.
I'm sure
So
in very small amounts.
Yeah, probably not like a whole douching of it.
Right. Yeah. You're probably not soaked in it. You know, it's not like Palmolive. You're not soaking in it. Right.
It's like a 0.005% drop.
Right. Like a tiny drop in a batch of something, I'm sure is okay. But yeah, it's not, I'm sure they're not going crazy over it. Right. They're not like, throw a bucket of it in that spaghetti sauce and see how it tastes.
Taking my weekly bath in propylene glycol.
Yeah.
Anti-aging.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey, if it gets the wrinkles away.
Yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess. If that's the way things need to be. I'm doing the hyaluronic acid right now. It's working for me. I mean, look at me. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay, whatever. I just want to look good and then just one day wake up as Betty White.
Betty White's dead. I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but, Betty White is dead, so there's that. So I don't know what that has to do with the price of anything, but beauty regimen, because it won't help anybody. Happened in Orem, Utah this week. A woman is accused of trying to pick up her child from daycare drunk more than 8 times the legal limit. That will not help anybody, Jess. It just won't.
That will just age you.
Yeah, well, there's that. That's the least consequential thing that'll happen to you in that scenario. It will create worry lines.
A little jail time.
Probably will worry the child quite a bit if you actually get away with it.
Yeah.
Little one in the back seat getting shuffled to and fro back in the car seat. There's that. A woman was arrested after she reportedly attempted to pick up her child from a daycare with a blood alcohol level more than 8 times the legal limit. Oh, she should know better, Jess. 39-year-old.
8 times. That's a lot.
Well, so last week when Travis was here, I said something to the effect of guy got hit with a blood alcohol limit, something like 20 sometimes the legal limit. But the legal limit for him is 0.02 because he had been nailed multiple times before.
Oh.
So he was actually at like a 0.421 or 0.427 or something like that. But he was like, okay, yeah, it can't be 0.08 for him because he had to be under restriction. So, of course, in his cop brain, he had it figured out. Right? So
he's over there 8 times the legal limit. I feel like I would be in the hospital.
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't be driving.
I would think anybody would be, right? 39-year-old, she's just too old to be doing this. 39-year-old Whitney Jensen was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence with a passenger under the age of 16 years old, which is a Class A misdemeanor, and open container drinking alcohol in a vehicle, which is a Class C misdemeanor. A concerned daycare worker called officials with the Orem Police Department just after 6:20 p.m. on Thursday after Jensen arrived to pick up her child while severely impaired. First of all, 6:20 p.m. What daycare stays open that long for you to come get your child?
That is late.
That's very late. Officers arrived at the scene and saw Jensen in the driver's seat with her child improperly restrained. Jensen tried to get out of the vehicle for an interview, but officers said she could not stand up straight without help.
Oh, that's how I would be.
Yeah, I think at that point you're pretty much busted. They also saw she was swaying, was unable to keep her footing, had a slur, was unable to finish her sentences, and smelled of alcohol. That's pretty much me on True Crime Tuesday. She reportedly refused to consent to a field sobriety test and was consequently arrested for driving under the influence. Officers searched her vehicle and found several open containers. She was transported to the Utah County Jail, where she eventually agreed to provide a sample, for a chemical test. She had a blood alcohol content, Jess, of, I'm going to take a guess. Let's play a game out of it.
Okay, well, what's the legal limit? Like 0.08?
It's supposed to be 0.08, yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, she had to have been like 5.8 or something.
Wow, that's strong. But no.
Is she dead?
No, she was only 0.419.
Oh, I guess I forgot to put a decimal point in there.
Yeah, 5.8.
I multiplied it by like 100.
She would be a corpse on the side of the road at 5.8, yeah.
I can't math like Travis.
Yeah, but 0.419, so that's more than 8 times the legal limit according to the state of Utah. So the state of Utah must have a lower tolerance for blood alcohol.
Well, yeah, it's Utah. You don't really drink there.
Yeah,
they're all Mormon.
So
not all of them.
Not all of them. Look at you casting aspersions.
Well, they're all of them. Every single one.
They're not all LDS. So it must be, if it's 8 times there, then it's got to be 0.05 in Utah.
I would be fine because I have like 1 drink and I'm loopy. So,
you know what? Now I'm fascinated. I know we probably have listeners in Utah, but I'm not going to wait for you to email me. I'm going to see what...
Are they all Mormons listen to our show?
God, Jess. Yes, and you know what? The Amish have radios too, and they listen to us all over the U.S. as well.
But I do think that impacts, like, when you have, a culture within a culture, that probably impacts like your tolerance, how much your legal system is willing to tolerate people drinking. I don't think they have as many liquor stores around there.
It is 0.05 in Utah. And it said it is the lowest in the nation since the law took effect in late 2018. It's significantly lower than the standard 0.08 limit, with penalties including fines, license suspension, and potential jail time for violations. That is incredibly low.
Yeah.
Because that's not even 2 drinks.
No. And I could live in Utah because I would be fine. I could still... I don't drink after I don't drink after I drive. I don't drive after I drink 1 drink because I can't even talk when I'm just drinking tea. So
you're like, I don't drink after I drive.
I'm tea drunk.
I don't drive after I drink and drive.
But I do wonder if just culturally that does have an impact, because they do have such a population of people who are very religious, and their religion is you're not drinking. So if you have people in positions of making decisions, they'll be like, okay, we'll give them 1.5 drinks, and then
I think it's safe to say it's a conservative
illegal.
culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter if they're LDS or not, it's a conservative culture.
It's so beautiful there.
It is. Yeah.
It
And
might be the most beautiful state.
let's face it, they could jack that thing up to like a 0.15 for a legal limit because there's nothing to hit in Utah. There's a joke.
Oh.
There's nothing to hit in Utah. See, you could drive for
You
miles.
could fall off a cliff.
You could drive off a butte, but what are you going to hit? I mean, you're not going to do any damage. Now, see, there's something to email me about. See?
You're going to definitely get emails about me saying everyone in Utah is Mormon. I know. I'm just kidding, you guys.
Sure you were.
I just know, a lot of them are. Because I watch, Sister Wives.
Because I watched a show once. That's why. Yeah. I watched Sister Wives, and that's how I know.
Like, look at, honey, everyone in Utah is Mormon. Look at Sister Wives. They're all married to the same man.
Yeah, and everyone in Minnesota is in Fargo. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I love a good
sure, you
stereotype.
betcha. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hot dish. Hockey. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the next story before I offend more people.
Let's do that. A stunt driving charge is laid out after a 70-year-old was caught going. Okay, now we need to do some math in this story again, too, because this happened in Ontario, in Canada. I don't know Canadian math. I really don't. He was going 151 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that is in real miles per hour. Although I suppose I could pull out the old Google machine and find out here.
Wait, I didn't even know they had different math in Canada.
Oh, God. You are a treasure trove today, my friend.
I'm just really tired.
You don't know about the metric system? So,
I mean, their miles per hour is different than ours. Their miles are different.
yes, kilometers. The metric system.
Kilometers per hour. Well, you said miles per hour. I'm like, if it's a mile, it's a mile. How is that different?
No, they use the metric system there, Jess.
What am I drinking?
I don't know. Did you have more of that?
I think there's whiskey in my teacup.
Are you drinking THC tea or what are you drinking today?
Oh, wait, and there's a demon now coming at me. What's going on?
Right? I mean, come on.
You look very scary right now, Tim.
Oh my gosh. Well, I do every day. But, okay, so let's see. Let's do the math here on Google. 151 kilometers per hour is how many miles per hour? Let's see. Oh, it's 93 miles per hour. Holy cow. All right. 93.
Well, that's pretty fast.
Yeah. So the old man was trucking along here in Ontario. The story goes that Ontario Provincial Police charged a 70-year-old driver with multiple offenses after a traffic stop on Highway 17 west of North Bay earlier this month. OPP, yeah, you know me, the Ontario Provincial Police, they have such an ironic little abbreviation.
Do you think they just blast it in their?
I think they do.
And they're like dancing. They got a whole routine.
They pull you over and you hear boom, boom, doom, boom, doom, doom.
Get down with OPP. Yeah, you know me.
Yeah. OPP, how should I say it? I'll take it frame by frame, and then they rap it as they pull you over. Yeah. But they do it with this here accent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'd be getting pulled over all the time. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, that would be. I'd blast her just to have them pull me over. OPP said in a social media post that the vehicle was stopped as it was observed traveling 151 kilometers per hour in a 90 zone. So 90 must be 55. No, what is that? Well, if 151 is 90, then what is 90?
Do not ask me about numbers, please.
You're not prepared for the quiz today, are you?
Just Google them.
Are you Mrs. Freeberg? You're not ready for the quiz?
Nope.
Police said that during the traffic stop, officers also observed an unsealed THC canister or container on the vehicle's passenger seat. The motorist, a resident of Sturgeon Falls, was subsequently charged with stunt driving. That's a charge there.
Wow.
In Ontario. Yeah, stunt driving. And
I thought that was a job.
I thought it was too. And with driving a vehicle with cannabis readily available. I thought that was a feature in the vehicle and not a charge. But
this vehicle came with a dispensary.
Yes. Enjoy. Yeah.
A little oven over there makes my brownies.
That's right. If you'd like, there's also rolling papers in the glove compartment. So feel free. And the glove compartment comes down as a little dash where you can take and make your joints.
There's a little straw on my steering wheel so I can have a sip of my THC drink.
There you go. As a result, OPP also suspended the motorist's driver's license for 30 days, impounded the vehicle involved for 14 days, and the driver is now scheduled for a future traffic court appearance in which he'll need to slow down as he gets there, and he'll need to leave the weed at home. So there you go. Congratulations, Grandpa. You got to meet OPP. Just don't share it with others.
He sounds like kind of a fun grandpa, though, honestly.
Yeah, right. Let's go stunt driving and, spark one up. My grandpa was never like that.
No, my grandpa was a farmer. He was very serious.
Yeah. Well, speaking of having a little bit of fun, let's go to the Ozarks, where over 80 gallons of moonshine was seized in an Ozark traffic stop this week.
Ooh, love me some Ozark moonshine.
See, now we're talking. We go to Dothan, Alabama. I actually have a friend from Dothan.
Oh, yeah. Are they a moonshiner?
I don't know. I never asked her. Police in Ozark made a big discovery earlier this month when they seized nearly 7 dozen gallons of moonshine during a routine traffic stop. On January 9th, Officer Dylan Griffin, who sounds like a character from Family Guy, pulled over 61-year-old. Oh my gosh, this is a name?
You can do it.
Learndis Hamilton.
Learndis. Oh my God, I love that name.
I wouldn't, because it probably came this way. Ma, what you want to name this boy? I don't know, but he better take this book and learn this entire thing before I name him.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, that's why his name is Learndis.
Learndis.
Yeah. You better learn all this. Learn this, learn that, and learn the other. That's how the 3 boys were named in the family. Learn this, learn that, learn the other. Mm-hmm. So 61-year-old Learndis Hamilton was pulled over for a traffic violation. While speaking with Hamilton, Officer Griffin noticed multiple containers in plain sight inside the vehicle, prompting a deeper investigation, which uncovered over 81 gallons of illegally distilled moonshine. I bet you he wasn't willing to share at that point. Mr. Hamilton was traveling through Ozark from Florida, with his final destination not made clear to police, where he would have likely sold the large amount of illegal alcohol, probably to everyone at Florida State University. The moonshine possessed by Hamilton is a violation of Alabama law due to the quantity. Hamilton was arrested as a result of Officer Griffin's findings, and the investigation was turned over to the Alabama Beverage Control Board, who promptly drank all 81 gallons. As of January 21st, Mr. Hamilton was not listed as being booked in the Dale County Jail, and no additional details were being made available about his charges. Here is what, Jess, 81 gallons of moonshine on the highway looks like.
Oh, that's a lot of moonshine.
Doesn't it look like he just took old, Gedney vinegar bottles and threw it in there?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. That's pretty much
And that officer's just posing.
Yep.
Check it out, guys.
So, Mr. Hamilton, what do we learn about this? Probably never to drive over the speed limit and always have your taillights updated.
Yes, when you're transporting a lot of illegal alcohol. And mind your P's and Q's.
The funny thing is he's driving it in an open back truck. There's no cover over the top of it. He's just got open moonshine bottles in there, and he's just ding, 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 ding down the road,
He's very gutsy.
I was born a moonshiner's brother. Right down the road. You thought that's stupid. This one came in courtesy of, I believe it was Matt who sent this in. By the way, if you have a story for us for Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, you can send it in, tim@darknessradio.com. Florida Keys boat captain accused of selling kilos of cocaine found at sea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He just found him, so he decided to make some money off of him.
Yeah.
That's smart.
By the way, this is the face of a guy that says, Holy shit, look what I found at sea.
Finders keepers.
Yeah.
Oh, he's very tan.
He is. Well, he spent a lot of time out there in the water.
No, he looks a little lobstery, like he should have put some sunscreen on.
Probably. We're going to Marathon, Florida, where a 65-year-old Florida Keys boat captain was arrested on Monday after deputies say he was selling kilos of drugs that he found at sea. Following an investigation led by Monroe County Sheriff's Office, deputies say they nabbed Bradford Todd Piccarello? This sounds like
names tonight.
I know. And seized 23 kilos of cocaine, his 38-foot vessel, and $8,000 in cash and a .40 caliber handgun, because that is your coke dealer starter kit right there, especially in Florida.
He was packing.
He was. The investigation ended Monday when undercover Sheriff's Office Special Operations detectives purchased a kilo of coke from Piccarello for $10,000. It's pretty cheap for a kilo these days, I believe, and placed him under arrest. Piccarello has subsequently was booked into the Monroe County Jail, and counts of trafficking cocaine, selling cocaine, and possessing cocaine were foisted upon him. He still has that stupid look on his face, by the way, to this very day.
That's just his face.
Yeah, it's just his face. He's got resting surprise face.
I was say resting stupid face.
That's right.
Surprise face works too.
That's right. I believe we're just a couple of stories away from not dumb crimes, stupid criminals. From not safe for work territory. But we're going to end our regular stories with food stories, Jess.
Ooh, you're going to gross me out so I can't eat? It's good. I need to lose 10 pounds, Tim. I appreciate you.
Well, I'll try. I'll try my best. We're going to start it off with this gentleman right here. If I can get this story to move for me. There we go. We got to move it. Here we go. This guy right here. I'm going to have you guess what he's guilty of.
Wow. He definitely something to do with drugs.
You think drugs?
He looks a little whacked out.
Well, a little bit. Would you be surprised if I say it started innocently with a packet of ketchup?
What?
Yeah. Man is busted on a felony charge for alleged ketchup packet battery.
I did not see that coming.
Didn't see that coming? The weapon was a packet of ketchup, Jess. The charge was felony battery. The maximum penalty, 5 years in state prison. That's right. Thanks to a prior conviction, a man is behind bars on an enhanced criminal court for allegedly striking a male victim with a ketchup packet. According to court records, yes, we are staying in Florida. Investigators say that 28-year-old Austin Simmons, who I just showed the picture of to Jess, committed the battery inside a Florida bus terminal on Monday evening. Blonk. Right in the head.
How is that? I just can't fathom how you felony batter someone.
With a ketchup packet, right?
Yeah, with a ketchup packet.
Yeah. The victim, cops say, was checking on Simmons, who appeared to be passed out in the bus terminal. Identified as transient in an arrest affidavit, Simmons woke up irate. He then walked towards Carlos Mora and threw an open ketchup packet at the victim, who was opened.
Well, now I understand why it's a felony.
Yeah. Mora, cops added, it does stain, and it burns. It's got vinegar in it, right? Mora, cops added, suffered 2 spots of ketchup on his jacket. Oh, now we're talking. Oh. Cops found the packet on the ground, open with ketchup pouring out heinously on the ground.
This is a crime scene at its finest.
It is. The packet, which holds about 3.3 ounces of said ketchup, was not collected as evidence. Evidently, they just
splatter everywhere.
There was ketchup spatter everywhere, and they had to take pictures. Yeah. Simmons denied striking Mora with the condiment, but reportedly admitted giving the victim a ketchup packet. So he did admit handing the ketchup packet to said victim.
It's not his fault if the guy can't open it without making a mess.
That's right. While the minor incident would normally be handled as a misdemeanor, Simmons was charged with a third-degree felony due to a prior 2019 battery conviction. Arrest records do not indicate whether the earlier case was filed or whether Simmons was convicted of a misdemeanor or felony. In addition to the battery rap, Simmons was charged with possession of a controlled substance after a search turned up a small amount of a chalky substance police identified as cocaine.
He knew there were drugs involved somehow.
Well, he might have had a little on him.
I wonder what his previous arrest was for. Mustard battery?
Oh, see? Or maybe he's going to switch it up on you. Mayo battery.
Oh, that's truly offensive.
That is. Because it sours.
Mm-hmm.
Simmons is locked up in lieu of a $5,000 bond on both the battery and drug counts. So my guess, $4,900 for the Coke, $100 for the ketchup. If you had to break it down.
Yeah.
Think that's bad, Jess? First they come at you with ketchup, then they pork chop you.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be pork chopped. That sounds
wonderful.
Raunchy.
Well, I just open up my mouth and enjoy. That's my deal. A girl is jailed for a pork chop attack on her mother. I don't know if your daughter came at you with a pork chop. What's your first move? Is it defensive or is it something like this?
What is happening in this picture?
I don't know.
What is going on, Tim?
That's the picture of said attackee.
What's with her? I don't have my glasses on, but it looks like her mouth is like open and she's sticking her tongue out.
She's doing this.
Is that sexy?
I don't think so. No.
Kind of weird.
It is bizarre. It's a bizarre picture.
It looks like she died.
It does. She's doing something beyond fish lips. I think they call it fish lips and tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you put like little X's over her eyes, it'd be like that cartoon dead thing. Like she's her mouth, her tongue's out, and her eyes would have little X's on them.
Yeah, like when the cartoon animals pass away in the 30s. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. A Florida teenager is behind bars after striking her mother with a pork chop during a domestic battery. Okay, if it's frozen, that's cruel and unusual. But if it's cooked and seasoned,
I mean,
it's a treat.
Give me a fork. I'm just going to eat it.
You know, I wish they'd do that at the state fair. Instead of putting it on a stick, I wish they'd just throw it right at you.
Yes, we should start that. We could have a cool little thing where people stand in front of it, almost like axe throwing, only with a person, and you just throw the pork chop at their mouth.
We'll call it the pork chop launch.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll make $1 million.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. Catch it in your mouth or else. That'll be the T-shirts we'll sell. Catch it in your mouth,
you win a prize.
That's right.
That's what he said.
That's right. Then we'll just pour the drink down your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be like, and then we can take it to the Renaissance Festival after the.
You don't even have to use your hands. We're going to feed you by throwing food in your mouth, and then we're going to dump liquor down your throat.
That's right. See, and we'll take it to the Renaissance Festival after the state fair's over.
Mm-hmm.
Make $1 billion. We're
going to be rich.
I know. By the way, we're trademarking this, people. Don't take our ideas. 18-year-old Farrah Kernan was arrested for battery following a disturbance last night at the Jensen Beach home she shares with the 46-year-old woman. Kernan is locked up in the Martin County Jail on $2,500 bond. So you can get ketchup on a guy and get $5,000. But by God, throw a pork chop around the other white meat. It's only $2,500.
I think it should be more.
Well, but
I feel like you could have more physical damage from a pork chop, like maybe a black eye.
Pork is a cheap meat. It's probably the cheapest meat out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
my dad was a pig farmer. We ate a lot of pork chops.
Oh, it's so good.
And bacon. My dad makes the best bacon.
If you can get the porky seasoning from the fair with the pork chops, I actually, because meat has gotten so expensive, I actually went and got a couple of pork tenderloin were on sale this past week. We got a couple of pork tenderloin this past week.
Sounds good.
I haven't had pork tenderloin on a regular basis since my grandma did Sunday dinners.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had one, honestly. And they're delicious.
They're wonderful. Now, why she couldn't hit her mom with a pork tenderloin, I have no idea, because they're absolutely
I think
wonderful.
it would have been much less of a charge if it was a tenderloin.
Yeah, I think so.
Pork chop might have a bone in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can really hurt someone with that.
Although you can get the boneless, and the boneless are very good.
I do like me a boneless pork chop.
See? According to probable cause affidavit, Kernan's mother told cops that she had been involved in a verbal dispute with her daughter, who she said had been drinking alcohol earlier in the day. During the argument, the woman alleged Kernan smacked her in the face and threw a pork chop at her. That's aggressive. Police on the scene observed food residue on the victim's left shoulder, which was consistent with her statement.
So, if your child throws a pork chop at your face, are you calling the cops?
Well, she did slap her beforehand.
I mean, I don't know. Call me soft. I'd be like, go to your room, sleep it off. I'm going to cook this pork chop.
Do you think she went, I smite thee and chop thee? And then she said, you drunk ass, just go to your room. You know? Would you at that point, if your kid came up to you and said, Mother, I smite thee and chop thee, would you at that point, would you call the cops, or are you?
No. I feel like I'd want to watch some Monty Python and just make some pork chops for dinner and call it a day.
Be like, ooh, I better use some shout on that. It's gonna stain, but hey, I got dinner.
Dawn dish soap on there. Take it right off.
Got a nice snack though. When questioned by cops, Kernan appeared confused and became emotionally upset, began screaming and crying, and continued to act uncooperatively. A friend of the victim who was present in the residence recorded video of Kernan striking her mother.
What a mess.
Kernan was arrested last year on a trespassing on a Jensen Beach causeway, a day after being issued a trespass warning for a physical altercation with another female. As part of a deferred prosecution agreement, Kernan was ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. She sounds like a confused lady. You know what I mean?
It sounds like a troubled girl.
Yeah. Well, when you pose for pictures like this, Jess, I think there's trouble in paradise. You know what I mean?
I still don't get it.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah. I think maybe she's an odd duck. I mean, when you're throwing pork around like it's, like it's baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's issues in the family.
Especially in these times when food is so expensive.
Right. Don't throw meat
Waste
products.
Food?
Yeah.
No.
If you're going to throw something, throw celery. I mean, that's cheap.
Even if you throw a hot dog at me, I'm going to be like, you are wasting food.
That's right. Hot dogs aren't cheap either.
No, nothing is.
Right. Yeah. If you're going to throw something, celery is good to throw.
Celery is pretty cheap.
Yeah, celery is good to throw. But not pork chops.
No, definitely not meat.
They're still pretty spendy. All right. And finally, I believe before we go to not safe for work, although our first not safe for work has a tie-in to, you know what? Oh no, we have one story before, we have another food story before this. Another food story. Although these are kind of borderline. Are you ready for this?
Okay, I'm scared. You get that little look on your face, and I'm like, oh no, it's coming.
There is a crash.
I wish everyone could see your face.
There is a crash on the Poplar Street Bridge in Pennsylvania.
Uh-oh. Were people making out in the car or something? Like,
oh no, it wasn't Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, it was St. Louis.
Okay.
You know what they say about St. Louis? Got a bunch of yogurt slingers over there.
You even know what that means.
Oh, I don't?
Yogurt slingers?
Yeah, a bunch of yogurt slingers. There was a yogurt spill, big yogurt spill everywhere during this winter storm. Isn't that what it means? Yogurt slingers?
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slinging the yogurt?
Slinging the yogurt everywhere. It was all over the road, Jess. It's just yogurt flinging everywhere. It was in everybody's faces.
Are you sure it was yogurt?
Yeah, well, it's yogurt. It says here there was a yogurt spill during a winter storm. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department said significant delays were expected during the serious crash involving semi-trucks that closed the westbound lanes of the Poplar Street Bridge as inches of snow fell in St. Louis as of 6 p.m. And this happened, when did this happen? This was, what was the date on this? This was this past week. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department shared photos that appeared to show one's semi-trailer snapped in half. And then it just spilled its yogurt all over the roadway. It just flinging the yogurt left and right and left and right. And people were slipping around in it. Illinois Department of Transportation spokesperson Joe Monroe said the trucks got into a crash going off the ramp towards downtown St. Louis. The truck appeared to be carrying said yogurt, which is now all over the roadway. Snowfall was causing hazardous driving conditions across the metro region. I don't know why I couldn't get that out of my mouth. That's what she said. Also talking about the yogurt. And finally, before we get to not safe for work, because this is also kind of not safe for work territory, so maybe we should do it now. Maybe we should just say...
just put the kids in the closet.
Yeah, just
Let's go.
Put the kids in the closet, put the boss in his office. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're in not safe for work territory. Here we go. Where's the beef? Is the headline. Evidently, it's down the South Florida suspect's pants.
Oh.
The store owner said when we found out there was this thing in his pants, it was unbelievable. That's the quote. Probably a good thing I put the warning out there.
I think so. Oh, that's that. What a compliment for that man. Good for him.
Right? Good for you, buddy. We're in Aventura, Florida.
Oh my goodness.
My heart is with this guy. I got to tell you, because he knows what to steal and what to put down his pants right next to his Johnson. Surveillance videos obtained by Local 10 News showed a beef thief stuffing steak and brisket down his pants at a South Florida supermarket. Oh. He went for the good stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, really taking the good stuff.
Yeah.
Bringing home the bacon, so to speak.
That's right. By the way, if you think he snipped, he's not. It all happened at Kosher Kingdom, located at 3017 Northeast 199th Street in Aventura.
Why does that make me think now the meat's dirty?
Oh, no. It's all clean. It's all good. It's all kosher. By the way, you get the best brisket at Kosher Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's top of the line stuff. That's the good stuff.
I'm going to have to try it sometime. Can I stuff it down my pants?
By all means.
Before I leave?
Please do. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the store owners want to find the suspect. They haven't found him. Meat prices are continuing to go up. It's not us that's raising it. It is the whole industry, said owner Phil Einhorn. He said, our margins are very tiny. I'll tell you who's not tiny. The guy who's stuffing the meat down his pants. That's who.
Oh, man.
Plenty of room. In fact, the next line, I jumped the gun on the punchline. The next line in the story, one thing that wasn't tiny, this guy's pants. In fact, I have a rim shot here, but I think it's
oh my goodness.
See, I have this here. That's the wrong one. There we go. There it is.
There you go.
Return of the rim shot, ladies and gentlemen.
I haven't heard that in a while.
That's right. They're big, big, big pants, Einhorn said. I think they're like made for stealing. They're blocked at the bottom so it doesn't go through.
Wow, he even has special pants.
That's right. He's got big boy, big meat pants. You know what I mean?
Do you think they're like cotton, like the old MC Hammer pants?
Oh, those were polyester. I had
okay. Well, that's you had those.
I had a couple pair.
Yeah. They were cool. You were cool.
I would, you said it. I didn't, sister. Einhorn went on to say, oh wait, we have another quote here. Video shows a store employee walking by, then the suspect shoving a nearly $100 cowboy steak in his pants. He also
$100 steak.
Yeah, he also stole some wine. So you know what they say.
Wow. I don't even care if that steak's been by his Johnson. I would eat it.
Thank you very much.
It's got to be delicious.
I don't know why I let out a Pillsbury Doughboy laugh there, but so he's pairing up wine selections with steak, Jess.
He has a date tonight. He is getting dinner for a girl.
That's right. This guy is
in his pants.
Thank you. This guy is a sophisticated man.
I think so.
He's a sophisticated thief. What are you, or you know what he's cooking? Beef bourguignon.
Ooh, very fancy.
Yeah. Einhorn said he came over here, looked around to see if anybody was looking, and he shoved it in his pants. Yeah, baby.
Oh, how do you walk with giant meat and wine in your pants?
Very carefully. He eventually gave the steak back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did they put it back on the shelf?
At these prices, yes. Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. You can just wipe it off with a Clorox wipe and put it right back.
How did that go down? He just like, oh, okay, busted. Here you go. You have it back. I'm taking the wine.
Excuse me while I whip this out. We were shocked. That's why when he gave back the one steak, I thought, okay, I got it back. What's he stole? Einhorn said. And then when he found out there was this thing in his pants, it was unbelievable. It was like shocking.
Story.
Employees chased the suspect out of the store at that point. They ended up going across the street to Publix. One of my employees was on break and saw all the rest of the stuff that he had. Brisket, wine. I wish this guy would date me. He called the cops and we got everything back, Einhorn said. He ran off after we got the stuff back. By the time the cops got there, he was gone. But they have a good description. Of what? I mean, were they looking him in the eye at the time? They have the video, and I'm sure he's on foot somewhere. Einhorn has a clear message for those who come inside the store. We want to let people know that you can't come in and steal. It's not right, he said. We're a family business, trying to make it. 3 generations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not cool. But if this guy is listening, him and I would like to be invited over for dinner.
That's right. Just make sure you wash the meat clean. And make sure you also wash the steak off as well. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Oh, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you very much. To all the girls I've loved before, who've walked in and out of my door, I've done them on boats and barges, they eventually dropped the charges. To all the girls I've loved before, Julio Iglesias is in the news, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, did you hear about the story?
I think I might have.
Spanish prosecutors have dropped sexual assault complaint against Julio Iglesias. By the way, you want to talk about a hot mess? Here's a guy who needs a beauty makeover.
Oh, what's going on with his hair? He looks literally insane.
He's got a little carrot top issue going on, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
That smile though.
That smile though. He's like, a vita rep.
He looks very naughty.
He does, doesn't he? We go to Madrid, Spain, where Spanish state prosecutors said Friday they were shelving an initial investigation into accusations of sexual assault by Julio Iglesias in the Bahamas and the Dominican Republic after concluding that Spain's national court lacked jurisdiction to judge the matter. Earlier this month, Spanish prosecutors had opened an investigation studying allegations that the 82-year-old Grammy-winning global singing star had sexually assaulted 2 former employees at his residence in the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas. Guess where we're staying away from, Jess?
Yeah, not cool.
Julio Iglesias' residence in the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas.
No, we're going to be having steaks with that other guy.
That's right. At least he feeds us.
We're eating crotch steaks, okay?
That's right. We got crotch brisket on the way. Iglesias denied the allegations or accusations, writing on social media that, with deep sorrow, I respond to the accusations made by two people who previously worked at my home. I deny having abused, coerced, or disrespected any woman. These accusations are absolutely false and cause me great sadness. An email seeking comment sent to a Florida attorney whose website says Iglesias is among his clients was not immediately answered. The two women had presented a complaint to the Spanish court earlier this month, according to Women's Link Worldwide, a non-governmental organization that represents them. The group said that the women were accusing Iglesias of crimes against sexual freedom and indemnity, such as sexual harassment, and of human trafficking for the purpose of forced labor and servitude.
That's pretty serious.
That goes beyond bad boy territory. I don't care who you are, right?
No.
The woman also said Iglesias regularly checked their cell phones, barred them from leaving the house, and demanded that they work up to 16 hours a day with no contract or days off.
My goodness, this sounds like some P. Diddy stuff.
Right. When the complaint was filed in Spain, the organization said it had not reached out to authorities in the Bahamas or the Dominican Republic and didn't know whether investigations had begun in those Caribbean nations. Iglesias had been among the world's most successful singers in the decades since his 1969 debut album, Yo Canto. He has sold more than 300 million records in more than a dozen languages. Julio Iglesias. Singer, songwriter, sexual assault artist. No, I mean, I shouldn't cast aspersions, right? I mean,
P. Diddy before P. Diddy.
That's right. Diddy before Diddy.
The OG.
That's right. The OG of rape. I mean, I shouldn't. Again, I shouldn't cast.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You gotta. Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right. I'm going to hold up a picture. You tell me the crime this woman. This woman is allegedly committed.
It'll be some sort of a white collar crime, I think, or with sex, something sexual.
Okay, good. All right, we're on the right track.
Okay,
you are dead on here, Jess. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Brought back to the hotel room, a woman tricked men, plural, into letting her stay the night before drugging and robbing them.
Oh.
Yeah. It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Oh, Sheila.
I mean, she's very pretty, so you can see why men would be like, I'm going to let my guard down.
Yeah.
Pretty girl.
We're going back to Florida, where authorities accuse a Florida woman of accompanying men back to their hotel rooms under the pretense of physical intimacy just to drug and rob them and then flee. Not the basest flee from Red Hot Chili Peppers, but you get the idea. 39-year-old Sarah Jean Tavano faces several charges, including strong-arm robbery, organized fraud, second-degree grand theft, and burglary of an occupied dwelling. She has been in the custody of Miami-Dade County Corrections and Rehabilitation since Sunday. On December 12th, a man was sitting alone at a table at Sugar nightclub in Miami after his friends left, according to an arrest affidavit obtained by Law and Crime. A woman wearing a black shirt, blue jeans, and black flip-flops approached him, and after at least one other encounter, she agreed to accompany him back to his hotel room for what he believed would be consensual sexual activity. For $500, Alex. I just threw that in there. The woman alleged to have been Tavano, and the man entered his room at the Intercontinental Hotel located on Chopin Plaza, right along the city's waterfront. He consumed a drink with the female and shortly thereafter began to feel ill, experiencing sudden nausea, weakness, and dizziness before losing consciousness, the affidavit said. The victim reportedly blacking out and not regaining consciousness until about 7:25 in the morning on December 13th. When he searched his room, he realized that his gold Rolex day-date 36mm wristwatch, valued at about $38,000, was missing, along with about $1,500 in cash, according to the affidavit. The man called the police and gave them the serial number of his watch. Boy, you know you own a good watch when you know the serial number, right?
No kidding.
I couldn't tell you the serial number of anything I own.
You didn't get that at Walmart, I don't think.
No, that wasn't a Target special. That's for sure. So he gave him the serial number of his watch, telling them he does not normally experience these symptoms from casual alcohol consumption. Over the course of the next week, the detailed prolonged symptoms of nausea, extreme weakness, dizziness, and vomiting persisted, stating that he believed he had been drugged by the female offender. Investigators determined that the watch had indeed been stolen and pawned at a local store. The affidavit added that investigators reviewed surveillance footage from the hotel and immediately recognized the female as Sarah Tavano, whom police suspected from 2 prior investigations. As authorities tell it, Tavano has a modus operandi. Male victims were brought back to hotel rooms under the pretense of consensual sex, consumed drinks, lost consciousness. And then we skip ahead in the story, which all of a sudden the story just went brrr. And
He doesn't want you to know.
No,
Too dark, Tim.
She doesn't want me to know. She's trying to trap me in Miami, Jess. But you get the idea that she has this modus operandi and then traps these men into her web, so to speak. Let's see if we can skip ahead here in said story, if we can get the story to move here. Boy, it's either one extreme or the other. It either goes to the end of the story or it gets me back to the beginning.
It really doesn't want you to know. It's really...
No, it doesn't want me to know about Sarah.
Hiding its secrets.
Here we go. So we go ahead in the story where, as authorities tell it, that modus operandi is in there, where she brings men back to these hotel rooms. They later discover their property is stolen. More than a month later, on January 18th, just after midnight, security at the Sugar nightclub told detectives that their suspect was back there. Authorities said she was already known to have probable cause for arrest in a separate case. Officers then detained her, allegedly finding in her possession suspected cocaine, suspected the drug Seroquel, which can cause fainting, and a bottle of Jägermeister containing a cloudy liquid with visible powder residue settled at the bottom was with her. The investigators noted that the presence of prescription medication mixed into alcohol beverage is consistent with methods used to incapacitate victims and render them unconscious. So she just gave you the old Yag bomb, literally. Yeah. And then boom, put you out. Now, Tavano was arrested and booked into jail where she's awaiting charges.
A little date rape.
Yeah.
Without the rape.
Without the rape, yeah.
She just wants their stuff.
She just took your stuff and moved on. So there you go. All right. Another odd story out of the Pittsburgh area. Pittsburgh area officials are accused of engaging in sex acts in public.
Ew.
Yeah, talk about the odd story. A public official and a police department employee in Ohio Township are accused of publicly engaging in sexual acts in front of children this week.
What? It just got worse.
Talk about skeevy. Police said the incident happened on the sidewalk outside Caliente Pizza on Beaver Street. That's right. They picked a pizza place on Beaver Street to expose the beaver.
Come on.
You can't make it up, Jess. In Sewickley, around 7 p.m. on December 28th of 2025, investigators say Robert Huffmeyer, who is a sitting Ohio Township supervisor, and Jenna Gang, who is a clerk with the Ohio Township Police Department, are accused of engaging in a sex act in plain view of the public. Investigators said a father walking with his 2 children, ages 9 and 13, saw the alleged indecent act and called police.
Oh, my goodness. That would not be fun to explain to your children.
Papa, what's that furry thing here on Beaver Street?
Is that a beaver?
I really think our public officials should be an example in our community and our children, Karen Brown of Sewickley said. How do you tell somebody who's engaged in the act, I'm not voting for you next election, and I'm not pulling your handle? I mean, is that all things you say to them while they're engaged in coitus? I mean, that's...
Oh, my.
Yeah. Court documents say that by the time police officers arrived, the pair had already left the area, but police said they did not go far. Investigators found them down the street, parked outside the Sewickley Borough Police Department, allegedly engaged in the same act inside an SUV. So they thought the police department was safe place to get it.
So they went from one to the other?
Yeah, they went from outside the pizza place to down the street to the police department.
They weren't done.
No. They got to finish. I mean, township record shows Huffmeyer is married with 3 children. It also lists him as being affiliated with the local union and serving as a vice president and lieutenant with the Ohio Township Fire Department. He was definitely trying to put out that fire, if you know what I mean.
Let me guess, that probably wasn't his wife.
No, I don't think it was. No. Neither the township board nor the police department responded to requests for comments this past week. The pair is due in court early next month. So, they get to do it all over again in court, Jess. Or maybe not. Maybe that's not the proper place to do it all over again. And finally, before we get to our palate cleanser today, which is all about cars, I'll give you that much so that you have that to look forward to, so you can kind of put this out of your mind. But I will preface it with, whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa.
We're living on a prayer.
Doing it in a prison prayer room.
Praying? You mean doing it? You mean praying?
No, doing it in a prison prayer room. A prison officer is jailed for having sex with a convict boyfriend in a prison prayer room.
Very holy moment.
Well, if you're screaming, oh God, yeah, it is. Isn't it? Isn't that kind of the idea? A former prison officer has been jailed for having illicit relationships with 2 inmates and plotting to smuggle drug-soaked envelopes into jail, which is the new thing now. The drug-soaked envelope.
And then do they smoke it or
I think you either consume it, lick it, or smoke it. I don't know. I don't know what, but don't ask me. I've never gotten a hold of a drug-soaked envelope before, so I have no idea.
And if you did, you wouldn't know what to do with it.
I would have no idea. No clue. 23-year-old Isabel Dale became romantically involved with prisoners Shahid Sharif and Connor Money. It's kind of an odd name for it. Yeah. And was swearing them undying love, saying she wanted to be with both of them on the outside. Judge Christopher Hahir said she got engaged to convicted robber Sharif and later plotted with him and his associate, this is Lailea Salis, to smuggle the synthetic cannabinoid, commonly known as spice, into IMP Swaleside on the Isle of Sheppey, Kent. So this is over across the pond. Dale of Cosham, Portsmouth, was sentenced to 3.5 years imprisonment for 2 counts of misconduct in a public office between September of 2021 and December of 2022, and 1 count of conspiring to convey a List A article into prison. Sharif, who also is already in custody at HMP Wadsworth and Salis, who were also jailed for the latter charge. Sentencing the 3 at Southwark Crown Court on Tuesday, the judge told Dale, "I've concluded that unfortunately you are a thorough, devious, and untruthful and manipulative young woman." Well, that's going a little far, isn't it? I accept you have some vulnerabilities, but as was apparent in your evidence, you seek to use them as a shield and an excuse for your actions, but they did not provide that. He added, "I suspect you actually joined the prison service with a view to become involved in criminal activities with prisoners." Dale arrived at HMP Coldingley, Surrey, in September of 2021 for what would be her first and only posting. By January, she and Sharif had at least some contact because she mentioned him to a senior colleague. By May, they were engaged. The court heard. The trial was told the prison officer, who has since resigned, had sex with Sharif in the chapel area of HMP Coldingley. Judge Heher said he could not know if they were intimate in the chapel area, but text messages show they clearly had a sexual relationship, and other prison officers obviously had clocked on to what was going on. Sharif was at the time serving a 12-year and 10-month sentence for an extremely violent robbery of a jeweler's on the South Coast, the judge added. Dale's home was searched, and a rather garish picture of the couple was found hanging above her bed.
Garish? What does that mean? I mean, I know what the word means, but
I would think that it was in repose.
Ew.
Yes. It had photographs of them spliced together with a white heart between, and the date May 17th, 2022, believed to be the day of their engagement.
Oh, weird. That sounds like something out of a horror movie.
Yeah. The judge said evidence put to the jury showed she well understood what corruption was and the risks and danger relating to it. He added she wanted to do it. I think she's attention seeking, and I think she seeks validation. And I think she did that through relationships with prisoners. Syarn Sony, defending Dale, had said her offending was influenced by her mental health difficulties, including depression, anxiety, emotionally unstable personality disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder. He had claimed she was ill-equipped for the prison environment and more vulnerable than others. The court heard Dale also conveyed sensitive information to Money, with whom she also had an intimate relationship. The judge said when he said he was worried about losing his mobile phone if his cell was searched, any right-thinking security officer would go in and seize the cell, but she said, don't worry, security aren't too hot on you. Dale Sharif and Lalea Salis, 28, are also planned to bring envelopes dipped in spice into Swaleside Prison. A postal strike failed their arrangements and was organized for Dale to travel to Brighton to meet Salis to collect the envelopes, the court heard. However, Salis backed out because of a conflict with Sharif about prices and content he was posting about her on social media, said the judge. Interesting story, but kind of an icky story all the way around.
Yeah. Dirty and... Yep.
So with that, we'll need a palate cleanser.
Yes, please.
And this has to do all about our cars. So I thought it'd be interesting to put together a little quick 3-part story about our cars and some interesting information about that. So you may be noticing as you're out driving around, Jess, that our cars' headlights have gone from that warm yellow, right, to that reddening, searing white that you see when you're driving around. You can barely look. In fact, I almost got driven off the road by one truck that looked like it had its high beams on when I was going up the St. Cloud.
It's blinding.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where you can't really see. So we're a far cry off from that soft, warm amber and yellow of sealed beam headlights. And we shouldn't try to pretend that we're perfect because they didn't cause retina sparks either, those warm yellow, But now the main reason manufacturers push intense headlight brightness and white-blue color temperatures is that they make distinct objects easier to detect at night. The better the visibility, the more likely it is that manufacturers will score better ratings from the Insurance Institute for highway safety.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Safety sells, but by turning brightness, again, my story jumps around again, but by turning brightness into a feature of these headlights and into an arms race, we're stuck with miniature gamma ray bursts from headlights. While there are headlight brightness laws, Jason Camisa's Carmudgeon podcast discussed what he calls lightning gate. And he alleges that engineers design headlights with dark spots to fool testing equipment into thinking that the lights aren't as bright as they really are. In 2022, when the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration legalized adaptive driving beam, or ADB systems, they were supposed to rescue us from headlights that would weld aluminum. Well, the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 108, I believe it is, or FMV SS 108, is still so strict that car makers' existing ADB systems can't meet American requirements. With that, they're still getting in kind of under the law with these incandescent sealed beam headlights. So from 1940 to 1983, U.S. cars had two relatively dim 7-inch incandescent sealed beam headlights by U.S. law. But beginning in 1957, manufacturers could install 4 smaller 5.75-inch headlights instead. That's why 1957 Corvettes have 2 headlights, but 1958 models were redesigned with 2 quads. Regardless of what vehicle you bought, from a Ferrari, a 250 GT, to a Willys Jeep, which had a 7 slot grill, specifically to accommodate those bug-eyed 7-inch sealed beams. You got the same headlights. Then came H1 halogen bulbs in 1962. When they arrived in Europe, they weren't legal in the U.S. until 1997. So it took a while for those halogen bulbs to show up. Halogen, of course, being the brighter. Still, halogens began to move from candle-like yellows to eyelid-piercing whites as the color temperature jumped to the Kelvin spectrum. So the lights go to 11 now. And now we're stuck with a brighter headlight. Again, to be able to see things better in the dark. But they're doing this thing to fool our technology so that they can get away with brighter lights. And it's hurting some of our driving standards here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So the second part of our car story here has to do with a woman who has a lawsuit on her hands. And this has to do with the car wash. Now, have you ever gone through the automated car wash and accidentally been bumped from behind by somebody?
No.
Okay. So
usually the door comes down so nobody can get in.
You would think, but there's a little bit of a trick to it where people can fool the system to get in quicker, because when you start to go in the dryer at the end of the automatic car wash, well, you get a go signal, especially when things are busy and backed up, where the next car can come in after you and start their wash. So what'll happen is people can trick the system to start stacking the line. And one woman has gone through the car wash and got rear-ended 19 times in 2 minutes because of this system. Okay? So sometimes it's just a strange sensation that someone is watching. Other times, something inexplicable leads to the suspicion that you're in the presence of the supernatural. One woman's experience at a car wash has her wondering whether it's haunted. Lauren recently revealed that the strange scenario that played out when she went to the car wash. Her video is horrifying viewers across TikTok. As of this writing, her post has over 2.7 million views. Video surveillance shows that Lauren's vehicle got struck mid-wash. The vehicle behind her didn't stop. It proceeded to rear-end her 19 times in 2 minutes. So it didn't tell the vehicle behind her to stop. It told them to keep going, and they did.
Did they not see her there? That's so weird.
I don't know.
I just feel like if the sign said go or it was green, if there was a car in front of me, I would still be like,
right.
I'm going to wait.
Right, like I'm going to wait, right? She captions the post, "New Fear Unlocked." Viewers suggested that car wash accidents happen more often than most people realize. As somebody who is employed at a car wash, this happens so much more than you would think, she wrote. This happens to me like 8 years ago, and I cannot go into an automated car wash to this day, another said. After a car wash accident, the question becomes who's to blame. The car wash owner will be liable for any damages that were caused by malfunctioning machinery or not following safety protocols. Progressive reports that the car wash will be liable for any damages if the following takes place. The car wash facility didn't properly maintain the equipment. A piece of facility equipment fell into your vehicle and caused damage. Standard safety protocols weren't followed by the business. Improper training of its employees. No signage, guidelines, or clear instructions on how to use the car wash were displayed. Now, if the driver doesn't follow the car wash instructions, they may be at fault. According to Progressive, whether this will be covered depends on how the vehicle got damaged or if the owner has comprehensive or collision insurance. If your car is damaged in a car wash, immediately document it with photos and, if available, video. You should also ask to fill out an accident report at the car wash and file a police report. Now, are automatic car washes too risky to use? Car washes are overwhelmingly safe, but there are some risks. The car wash can damage vehicles with malfunctioning machinery, improperly maintained equipment, or dirty brushes that scratch the paint. Any objects sticking out of your vehicle, such as spoilers or radio aerials, may be damaged. Spencer Morgan Law lists 5 dangers of using an automatic car wash, and it's this. Your malfunctioning machineries, the mechanical components, including roller sprayers and tracks, are expected to operate smoothly. When coordination of these components and sensors are off or fail, the vehicle can get stuck or pulled unexpectedly. If this happens, people in the vehicle may be injured. There's slippery surfaces. Floors can get slippery and slick from water, soaps, and cleaning chemicals. Owners should have proper signage about the risk and take anti-slip precautions. The third one is getting trapped or injuring fingers or limbs. In the rare case, which is not advised, that drivers need to exit their vehicles or reach outside of it during a wash, this may end with your fingers or limbs getting caught in the equipment. So don't exit your vehicle if you don't have to. The fourth,
that sounds terrifying.
It does. The fourth is sudden vehicle movements. Improper signaling or faulty guideline system that can cause the vehicle to move too quickly or stop abruptly. And the fifth one is an electrical hazard. Faulty design or damage to a vehicle's electric system can expose it to high-powered liquid car wash that they use, and leading to the risk of electric shock. That can happen. There are exposed wires in there that can make contact with the fluid and can shock you. Now, although Lauren's video is an example of one of the more frightening things that can happen at a car wash, people were more amused than frightened. One person joked in the video, this is actually where baby cars come from, as she's getting hit from behind 19 times. A second echoed, is this how hybrids are made? Others focused on the legal aspect of the video. As a personal injury paralegal, I'm not going to lie, this is a lawyer's dream, one commented. Another joked, my neck hurts and I have bad headaches that won't go away. A third agreed, well, good news is everybody's getting paid. Bad news is no more car wash. Now, the writer of this article contacted Lauren via Instagram and TikTok direct message. It is going to update the story if they need to. Now, with this in mind, that you can go into a car wash at any time and get rear-ended over and over and over again, Jess, I have this last story for you, and it's this. At-home STD tests are now offered for screening and treatment. And thank God, because now if you're getting rear-ended over and over and over again in a car wash, you're going to need to test for STDs.
You're going to want to make sure you're safe.
That's right. Practice safe rear-ending in a car wash, ladies and gentlemen. New options for testing and treating for the most common sexually transmitted diseases that are now available, thank goodness, on U.S. infection rates. And we'll keep that downward pressure way down. Thanks to the FDA, they approved the first at-home test that can detect 3 common infections in women: gonorrhea, chlamydia, and trichomoniasis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Trichomoniasis.
Whatever you said. That's one I've never had to look for. As well as the first home-based kit for the virus that causes cervical cancer.
Okay.
There you go. So that's been approved this week. The agency ended the year by approving 2 different drugs for gonorrhea, the first new options for the disease in decades. It's positive news after cases of sexually transmitted diseases and infections reached alarming highs before and during the COVID-19 pandemic, which disrupted. Oh, really? Yeah, well, evidently a lot of people were like, well, we're staying home. What you doing, girl? You know.
We're just going to go on Tinder.
Yeah, we're going to see who shows up, which disrupted screening, education, and treatment for sexual health nationwide.
Huh.
So there you go.
Interesting.
And that's our palate cleanser for today.
You ended with STDs. My palate does not feel cleansed.
Well, now there's a way to check. See, you can do
That's
it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
We're progressing. So get out there and do your thing. You can order a kit and take care of yourself at home like it never happened.
Even if you're bumping in the car wash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what's going on there. What do you have going on in your world, Jess?
Oh, not much. I don't have any events for adults. I only have events for kids right now. So nothing exciting to share other than, just writing books, I guess.
There you go.
Hanging out.
All right. All right.
Hanging with you. Highlight of my week.
Oh, thank you. Oh, look at that. Well, tomorrow we have Supernatural News with Mally Fox. Thursday, we have a very interesting program.
Ooh.
We have a guest coming on that is going to explain to us why the supernatural could be explained through modern physics.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting program indeed. So we'll talk to that guest about that. And it's a very intriguing program. I think you guys will be fascinated by it. I know some people's Some people's heads may be swimming by that very line, but it's after sitting and hearing what this person has to say, it's very, very intriguing.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. So we've got that coming up this week. Again, a reminder, Robert Dugoni, our guest today, his book, which is absolutely a wonderful, wonderful book. It's the continuing of Keera Duggan's series and story. Again, it's available today. It came out today. It's called Her Cold Justice. I think, is it Her Cold Justice? Is that the name? I know I didn't have you read it, Jess. It's Her Cold Justice. That's the name of the book. It's available right now. We have a link in the description of this program. Wonderful book, folks. And Robert Dugoni is a legend in the field of crime thrillers. And I was just so incredibly blessed to have him on today. So go get that book. Wonderful book. So go get that. And you want True Crime Tuesday merchandise? Go to darknessradioshow.com. Go get your merchandise. We got lots of it. Get yourself
a sweatshirt.
That's
cold.
Right. It is cold out there. Very cold out there. So, all right. For Jessica Freeberg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for joining us today for the best in true crime podcasting, True Crime Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow for Supernatural News and Mally Fox. Bye, everybody.